Okay, so the next era of Green Day is in 2004 with the American Idiot release. But before that, the years 2002 and 2003, they were kind of like the dark eras or the dark years of Green Day. They were getting a lot of pressure from the record labels to release an album that was as popular as Dookie was, and they weren't able to make it with their previous releases. There was some conflict going in the band. They were close to breaking up at some point. Also, a lot of personal trouble. There were a lot of divorces going on, and to make things worse, they started to record a new album that was supposed to be called Cigarettes and Valentines in 2003 or 2004, and all of a sudden the master tapes get stolen. And what do? They, instead of trying to get everything or trying to re-record everything again, they just said, screw it, we're just going to start from scratch. We're going to start recording a brand new album from scratch. And the result is 2004's American Idiot, the big comeback from Green Day, also on Reprise Records. And this is the deluxe edition of the CD. I think I showed this one before. Comes in like a DVD-sized book. It's a really cool packaging. There's the CD, and the book, the hardcover book, comes with additional artwork and the lyrics of the songs. Oh. It's a very cool edition. And this is actually a little insert to get your ringtone for your flip phone. Very cool. But like I was saying, this is the big comeback by Green Day in 2004. A lot of hits from this album. Actually, let's go ahead and listen to a clip from one of the songs. This one is called Jesus of Suburbia, in particular the part that is City of the Damned. Let's take a quick listen. Again, that was Green Day with Jesus of Suburbia, and from American Idiot. And like I said, hugely popular album. These guys were everywhere after this album was released. They were playing in all the big festivals, in all the big TV shows. Of course, it was the huge and the big comeback by them. And a great album too. It has a lot of great songs, and I think they call it like a rock opera, because it's I guess it's more of a concept album, but it sounds great. I love this album. And of course it came with a lot of different kind of singles, starting off with American Idiot from 2004, also on Reprise Records, and I believe this is the Australian version of the CD single. The next single was the song called Holiday, and it came in a two-part CD single, also from 2004 on Reprise Records. This is part 1 and this is part 2. The third single was the very commercially successful, again, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, also released in a two-part CD single. Part 1 and part 2. And actually I forgot to show you the vinyl version of the single of Holiday. This one came out also in Reprise Records. Came in a picture disc. That sounds terrible, of course, as in all the picture discs, but it's still cool to have. Came with this transparent sleeve, kind of like a duct tape looking sticker. And the picture disc itself looks good, but it doesn't sound too good. The picture of the band in the back. Again, that's Holiday. And I also have the vinyl, or the 7-inch vinyl version of Boulevard of Broken Dreams. This one also came in a picture disc. Also from Reprise Records. This one is from 2004 as well. The B-side is Letter Bomb. Let's take a look at the picture disc. Let's see. Yeah, it looks similar to the CD in this side. In the back, again, a picture of the band. And the last single from the American Idiot album is Wake Me Up When September Ends. Also a very popular song. This one also came in a 2-part CD single, but I only have one. And to wrap up the American Idiot era of Green Day, they also released a live album, this time a full-length album, no EPs anymore. This is Bullet in the Bible. This is a live CD that also came with a DVD. And this introduced Green Day as an arena rock or a live arena rock band. Just found it hard to believe that Green Day will eventually become a band that would play in front of so many people. I believe this one was recorded in England. I think so, but it's an amazing concert, and it comes with this cool packaging. And again, it comes with the CD and the DVD. Okay, so by 2005, Green Day did a lot of touring to support American Idiot. They also did a lot of promotional stuff. They were on TV a lot, again, to support American Idiot. And they also had a show in Broadway. They turned American Idiot into a Broadway show, which I actually went to see, and I honestly did not like it. It was not really my cup of tea. But truly, I don't think I would like any kind of Broadway show. It was just, it wasn't really my type of thing to go see. But anyways, they did it. It was different, and it was successful as well. And they didn't release anything until 2009, where they released their new studio album, 21st Century Breakdown. And I think I've shown this one before too. This one is the deluxe edition of the album. Here's the back. Again, from 2009 on Reprise Records. And the format overall of this album is very similar to American Idiot. I think they decided to keep it a little bit safe. They didn't explore too much into different sounds. It's basically the same kind of format, a very similar kind of style of music as American Idiot. It's also a concept album. And I like it. It's not my favorite Green Day album, but I do like it. And it comes in this hardcover CD, the deluxe edition at least, with the additional artwork and lyrics and credits. So they did a great job in this deluxe edition. And the CD comes right there. And they also released a handful of singles for 21st Century Breakdown. I only have one. It's actually one of the singles from this era are a little bit hard to find, mainly because they didn't make as many as they used to in the early 2000s or in the 90s. But I have a vinyl version of Know Your Enemy, the first single of 21st Century Breakdown. And I think this one came also in a numbered edition. I got 1523 in the back. And as usual, they also released a live CD to support 21st Century Breakdown. And this time they also released it as a Blu-ray disc. And this one is called Awesome as Fuck. I love that title. It really represents what Green Day is, or the experience of seeing Green Day live is. Again, very similar to the Bullet in the Bible version of the live version of American Idiot. Again, Green Day being amazing in an arena rock environment. This is in a big place. I think this is a compilation of different songs that they play live in Europe, mostly in Europe, I think. Actually, some are in Europe, some are in the US, and some are in Canada too. And this one came with a CD and a Blu-ray disc. And a little booklet with some pictures. The band jumping around a lot. And Green Day is just amazing live. If you haven't seen Green Day live, you're missing out, because they put a show. Yeah, it's definitely worth seeing. They also released another live EP. This one was released only in Japan. I actually found it in Japan. And this one is called Last Night on Earth, live in Tokyo. And this one is from 2009, also on Reprise Records. Let's take a look. Here's the Obi. And there's the back. Mostly songs from the 21st Century Breakdown album. And inside. And after 2009, actually, Green Day wanted to go back to their roots, I guess. And they started a new side project called the Foxboro Hot Tubs. And what they did is that they played a lot of smaller venue shows. They went into and played surprise gigs at smaller venues and smaller bars around the country, in places that they haven't played in a long time. And it was really cool. Actually, I went to see them when I lived in Texas, and they played in Austin, in a very small place. And they put an amazing show, of course. It was a very intimate environment, very different to what we were used to seeing, like Green Day playing in the big arenas, like in 2009 and like in 2004, after the release of American Idiot. And after that, they didn't release anything until 2012, where they came back with a trilogy, or 3 albums that they were released almost a month apart. And it is called Uno, Dos, Tres. And this is the box set with 3 CDs. And there's the back. And the first CD that came out was called Uno, and that one came with this little box, so you would save it, so you would collect the other ones when they were released a couple of months later. And this one is from 2012 on Reprise Records, of course. Then came the second one, or Dos. And the last one is Tre, the 3rd CD in the trilogy. And I actually have this one also on vinyl. Again, one of the few studio albums that I have from Green Day on vinyl. And I bought it because I found it at a really good price. And this one is also on Reprise Records. Came with a cool little insert, similar to the CD version, with the lyrics, and on black vinyl. Now, what can be said about this trilogy? It is definitely Green Day going back to their roots. It's sounds very garagey, rocky, I guess. And the 3 albums are actually very different to each other. It's supposed to be that the first one is kind of like the start of the party. That's how they call it. The second one is the crazy album with a very eclectic kind of a mix. And the third one is supposed to be the end of the party, which has a lot of ballads, I guess. The one that I like the most is actually, I think I liked the third one a little bit more than the second one, and the one that I liked the least was the first one. I liked the third one because I liked a lot of the poppy kind of songs, like 8th Avenue Serenade and Missing You and a little boy named Train. A lot of pop punk songs that reminded me a lot of early Green Day. And the second one I liked because it's very different. It's, in a way, it's a little bit like a Nimrod that has even has like a rap song, which actually kind of works. I do like that song. I think it's called Nightlife. And it has a lot of crazy songs like Stop When the Red Lights Flash. A lot of great songs in here. And Uno is just an okay album. It's really not their best. Actually, let's go ahead and listen to a quick clip out of Tre.
Say hello from your window.
So after the trilogy was released, Green Day actually went in a little bit of a break. They didn't break up, it's just that they didn't tour very much or play many shows. The reason was that the singer of Green Day, Billy Joe Armstrong, went into rehab for a while, so they took a little bit of an extended break. But they did release a few more things. They released this DVD called Cuatro, kind of like it was a documentary about the recording of the trilogy. And this one came out in 2013. And also they released one CD single. Actually, they released a few CD singles, but they're really hard to find. The only one that I have is this one. It's called All Love, and it's from the first album in the trilogy, Uno. And I actually found this in Japan again. Only a one-song CD single. And finally, in 2014, for Record Store Day, they also released a compilation of demo versions of their songs from the trilogy. And this one is called Demolicious, and it came out, like I said, in 2014 on Reprise Records on Record Store Day. And there's the hype sticker. And this one came in really cool double LPs, transparent vinyl, with the custom labels. And this one is really cool to have. I love how the demo versions of this song sound. This almost sounds like Green Day's playing just for you, and so you can hear a lot of the imperfections in the song. Some of them, and they're really good. Some of them, and they're kind of sloppy. But it's really cool to listen, especially if you're a huge Green Day fan. And that about wraps it up for all the music-wise for my Green Day collection. I'm actually going to come back to you with a few more things, so stay tuned.